live. Hopefully there ain't too much background noise. You feel what I'm saying? Contender regime boxing. Checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening? Hope y'all doing well on this nice November morning. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, it's my birthday today. You feel what I'm saying, man? Hey, November 10th is going down. You know what I'm saying? Bro, birthday was November 4th. So it's a celebratory week. You dig what I'm saying? And it's dope that in the sport of boxing, we're getting some good news, some fights being ordered. Shout out to the WBC. They finally doing something good for a change. You know what I'm saying? They finally doing something that seems to be in the benefit of the sport as a whole. So I think it's dope, man. And I want to talk to y'all and see what y'all think about all of the fights that's just recently been ordered, particularly Errol the True Spence Jr. versus Keith one-time Thurman. Also, I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the other fights that have been ordered. And do y'all think these fights gonna be made? It's a lot of good matchups that came out of this WBC convention. So I'm really hoping that all of these fights get made because I want to see each and every one of those fights. Shout out to the brother More Live in the building. Salute. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Mars in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure you hit the like button as you slide through. I appreciate it. I know this is a little unconventional early morning live, but we get into it. I got my little green juice going. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. You dig what I'm saying? It's a vibe, man. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? I got to start the day off right, man. We're going to get to it. Shout out to the brother Maurice Bridges in the building. What's good? Shout out to my brother Mike Rhyme in the building. What's good? Joe Hewitt in the building. What's good? Shout out to the brother Kinda Loco Sports in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Said Earl said he will never fight. He would never face Keith Thurman, but I've always wanted to see it. Facts. Same here. I always wanted to see that fight ever since Floyd Mayweather put that shit to the forefront of the people and made it a thing. And we saw Errol Spence and Keith Thurman face to face. I always wanted to see that. You know what I'm saying? And Keith Thurman, with him maneuvering and running and ducking and dodging all this time, it made me want to see him get his ass whooped even more. I don't think the Manny Pacquiao ass whooping was enough. You know what I'm saying? I think he got to get Errol Spence got to put them hands on it for me to really feel like, okay, Keith Thurman got what was coming to him. You dig what I'm saying? And I like Keith Thurman. I think he's a good fighter. You feel me? But he did a whole lot of sucker shit, and he got to pay for it, and it's time. And he been asking for the smoke. Shout out to the brother Maurice Bridges in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, happy birthday, bro. I appreciate it, dog. I appreciate it, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, man. I appreciate it, man. Your boy 33 today, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting old, man. I'm getting up there, man. I'm getting up there. You did. Said, yo, did you ever box in amateurs? I saw that left hook. Hey, nah, I never boxed in the amateurs. I just trained just for the exercise. I love boxing. Of course, y'all know I love boxing, but I love the training just because of the cardio is phenomenal. I think it's the best cardio you can get outside of playing full court basketball in a hot gym. Great cardio. It's just I love training, bro. I just love it, dog. And then just learning a martial art, being able to fight, having hands, being able to work your shit, knowing how to throw a correct punch. That's why I do it. But I never fought in the amateurs or nothing like that. Shout out to the brother Jay Carlos in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Said, hell yeah, boxing ain't no joke. That shit harder than basketball. Yeah, big facts. Like, just training, that shit, boxing training, bro, get your body right all the way 100%. And plus, you got to eat a certain way to be able to keep up, to be able to run, 3 straight miles, or 2 or 3 straight miles, 4 straight miles. Your diet got to be decent. You know what I'm saying? Your cardiovascular system got to be on point. So, I love it, bro. It keep you on point. It keep you in shape. You know what I mean? Shout out to the brother Hard Act to follow in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Aaron Calderon in the building. What's good, man? I appreciate you for pulling up. But So of course, I really want to talk about Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. You see in the title, I'm saying that okay, Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman got ordered by the WBC. How important is Undisputed? It's a reason I'm asking that question. How important is Undisputed? Not just Undisputed in general, but particularly to Errol Spence Jr. We know that he's been on this crusade to become undisputed ever since he beat Kell Brook for the IBF title. How important is that to him? Because remember, Errol Spence said that he would never fight Keith Thurman. We know what Keith Thurman did to him. You know, disrespected him as a champion, disrespected him as a fighter, as a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Turned down the fight multiple times, held up the welterweight division, held up Errol Spence's plans to become undisputed, put the whole division on the back burner for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Didn't give Errol Spence an opportunity when he deserved it, when it was perfect and prime for both of these guys. Remember, Keith Thurman ain't much older than Errol Spence. Keith Thurman, what, 33? About to be 34? Errol Spence, 32? These guys, they the same age pretty much. Now, they came in the game at different times, but Keith Thurman had an opportunity to fight Errol Spence when they was both at their best. I think Errol Spence is way better now than he was then, but Keith Thurman was at his best. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why Errol Spence feel the way he does about Keith Thurman, and I understand why he say he would never fight him. However, the WBC has ordered this fight. So now you hold a WBC belt that's one piece to you becoming and completing your undisputed mission. So how important is becoming undisputed? Do you say, fuck Keith Thurman, I'm not fighting him, I'm going to just let the belt go and then move up to 154? Or you say, I'm going to bite this bullet, go whoop Keith Thurman ass, get some of this stress up off of me, get some of this frustration from me not getting the Terrence Crawford fight. Let me go whoop Keith Thurman ass, hold my belt, and then stay at 147 for another fight. That's another thing. Do I want to stay at 147 for another fight? How comfortable am I making this weight? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to say, hey, Terrence Crawford, he prolonging the fight too long, I want to go ahead and move up to 154? It's a lot of questions, and that's the main question. You know, number one, is this fight actually going to get made? And how important is Undisputed? I think both of those things go hand in hand, because if Errol Spence feels like his health is more important, I don't feel comfortable making 147, I need to go up to 154, then that's probably what he gonna do. And say, fuck that belt, fuck Keith Thurman. But on the other hand, I know Errol Spence is a legacy-driven guy, and he wants to truly prove himself as the best fighter in the welterweight division, the best fighter in the world, because I think the winner out of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford will be deemed as the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of moving variables and things to consider with this matchup. And I really want to get y'all thoughts on it, man. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Shout out to the brother, Mr. Classic Metal in the building. What's good? Hey, y'all heard my brother Maurice Bridges. He say, hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let me go ahead and make sure my boy is strapped up in here. You feel me? Yeah, man. Y'all listen to the brother. He said, hit that like button. Shout out to my brother Walter Lee in the building. Said, it's nice, but if you can't get it because of other fighters avoiding you or sanctioning bodies with other objectives, what can you do? That's big facts. It's only so much you can do if you Errol Spence. It's only so much you can do. You can't make Terrence Crawford fight you. You can't make Terrence Crawford accept the deal. You couldn't force Keith Thurman to fight you back then. You know, now Keith Thurman is thirsty. He done got his ass whooped by Manny Pacquiao. You know, I don't know how true this is. I don't be pocket watching folks, and I don't know what's going on with his finances, but I heard money a little tight. You know, he ain't really been getting fights like that. You know, he was up early at 5 a.m. in the morning in Vegas gambling the night before the Manny Pacquiao fight. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Did he make a bad bet? You feel what I'm saying? Did he blow the Manny Pacquiao money already? I know shit tight right now, so Keith Thurman a little thirsty. You dig what I'm saying? Keith Thurman a little thirsty, but Errol Spence, he like shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Errol Spence, I think he going to go ahead and whoop on Keith Thurman ass. It just depends, man. And he can fight Keith Thurman right now and still move up to 154 after this. Who knows? Said Earl will retire Thurman. Yeah, I think it'll be Keith Thurman's last fight. It'll definitely be his last big fight or noteworthy fight. But I think he might get retired, for real. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll get retired in that fight. He gonna make a nice little bag and he gonna ride off. Errol Spence, the next person that Errol Spence fight is gonna be bad for him. And if it's Keith Thurman, it's gonna be doubly bad for him. Shout out to the brother Tez Frank in the building. What's good? Said all about a fight though. Hell yeah, you got, bruh. If Errol Spence and Keith Thurman get made, if you're a boxing fan, you support that fight. That's a good fight. It's a good fight. Shout out to the brother Not Zay in the building, said, don't sleep on Thurman. I agree. Don't sleep on him. I think Errol Spence is and should be the heavily favorite fighter in that matchup. But I wouldn't sleep on Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman's still a live dog. I think Keith Thurman's still dangerous. But at this point, Errol Spence is just, his ring IQ has grown tremendously. Physically, he's stronger. Shout out to my brother Justin Coleman in the building, man. That's family right there. Appreciate you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? I think Errol Spence's ring IQ has grown. Physically, he's sharper. Skill-wise, he's sharper. I think he's more mature inside and out the ring, looking at things differently, taking the sport and this craft much more seriously. I think Derrick James has gotten better as a coach. It's just so much that has improved around Errol Spence and his camp. I just think this is a bad time for Keith Thurman to be getting in the ring with Errol Spence. And I think Earl gonna beat him up bad. But like I said, Keith Thurman's still a live dog. You know, he still got good power. Good hand speed, decent feet. Shout out to the brother Maurice Bridges back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, appreciate the rinse, bro. Already, man. Long overdue, man. I see you in here all the time, man, showing love and supporting, bro. You feel me? I appreciate you for pulling up, dog. 100. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Southpaw Killer in the building. What's good? Said, man, the PBC schedule looking especially good. The WBC ordered on some bangers. Big facts. Big facts. Shout out to the WBC, man. Like, this is a rare W for the WBC. This is a rare good move for them. And, you know, it seems to be for the best benefit of boxing. So I appreciate this. I want to get y'all thoughts on, out of all the fights that got ordered, what's the best one? Shout out to the brother D Luckett in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, salute. This is a great fight. Definitely a fight for Spence to prepare for a beast like Bud. I do think Thurman would take his training to another level. He would have to. That's big facts. Because look at it like this. Every fighter that Errol Spence fights, he gets the very best out of them. Shout out to the brother Phil J508. If you pay attention, now that don't mean they gonna have the best performance of their life like Sean Porter did when he fought Errol Spence. But everybody that Errol Spence fight, because of the stage that it's on, he brings the best out of them as far as their preparation, the training. He gonna get the very best version that we've seen in a long time of Keith Thurman. Now, whether or not that's enough to win, that's yet to be seen. But I think Keith Thurman will get up for the fight. I think he's gonna be in tremendous shape. I think he's gonna be focused. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Mike Jones in the building. I think he's gonna be focused. I think he's gonna be strong. But is that enough? Is the very best version of Keith Thurman enough to beat Errol Spence? I can't say that it is. I can't say that it is. But look, we got Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz that got ordered. We got Shakur Stevenson versus Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Who else we got? Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa 2. You know what I'm saying? Which fight do y'all feel like is going to be the most lit fight? Keith Thurman, Errol Spence? Said Deontay Wilder going to murder Ruiz. Yeah, I like Wilder in that fight a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know Wilder want to get back at, I know he want the Anthony Joshua's, the Furies, Usyks. But I think this is a good fight for Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Good name. And it's a guy that stylistically, I really like him against. But, Ruiz, he definitely a game dog. Said Wilder better start Ruiz. Shakur stepping up. It's a good thing. Yes, that fight, I think the Keith Thurman and Errol Spence fight is the most exciting one. But I'm really excited about Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz. I hope that fight gets made. Shout out to my brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate it. He said, Spence Thurman for me, been one Earl to knock Keith ribs through his back. Hey, I feel you, bro. I've been wanting that too, dog. It's been a long time coming. It's time, brother. It's time. It's about that time, bro. Keith Thurman been maneuvering, ducking and dodging for too long. You feel what I'm saying? And now what make it even sweeter is that after all that running, he came back a few years later and said, hey, I want the smoke now. After he done got his ass whooped by Manny Pacquiao, he feel like he got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's seen something in Errol Spence. Maybe it's the car accident. Maybe, it was the eye injury with Manny Pacquiao. I don't know what it was, but he's seen something that gives him the confidence to say he can fuck with Errol Spence. So now I want to see it. I'll say this. It's better now than it was then, because at that time Keith Thurman was on the back foot. He was on the back foot. He was on his way out the door, moving around, and every time Errol Spence come in the building, he dipping out, hiding from the cameras and shit. But now he's actually walking towards the smoke. So I think it's better now. He say he want it. Yeah, like the brother said, like Errol Spence said, tables turn. Shout out to the brother D Lucky back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. Oh yeah, he said, I heard Tony Harrison and Fundora are supposed to be fighting. Is that true? That is one of the fights that got ordered by the WBC, and I believe that fight is gonna happen. And I love that fight. I think it's a great opportunity for Tony Harrison to get back into the mix. This is why I love the 154 division, because these guys actually mix it up. Look at the different variations of matchups that we've been getting at 154. You know what I'm saying? Jamel, Charlo, Lubin. You had J-Rock and Hurd. Hurd fought everybody except Charlo. You know what I'm saying? You had Tony Harrison and Charlo. You had now you gonna get Sebastian Fundora and Tony Harrison. It's so many different variations that done went down at 154, and it's still more to go. We done already achieved Undisputed at 154, so we know who the best. That's not in question. Said I think Harrison can win. Big facts. Tony Harrison definitely can win that fight. He gonna have to be sharp. He can't get reckless like he did in that second fight with Jamel Charlo. Shout out to the brother Skinny Too Lit in the building. He gonna have to be sharp. I definitely think he can win. Tony Harrison gonna have to be sharp. He gonna have to go to the body. He gonna have to be consistent. Defense gonna have to be tight. Use angles on Fundora. Look for those blind spots, because Fundora has blind spots. I think he's blind to the overhand, to the left hook. And Tony Harrison got a really good left hook, a decent left hook. Yeah, he just gonna have to be patient and be consistent in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Fundora is gonna apply unlimited pressure. Said, bro, Jamel used Gatorade to beat Harrison. Come on, man. Said he can win for sure. It's just that damn chin for Tony. Yeah, bro. And that's why I say he gotta be extremely sharp. I think he'll be able to afford to take a solid shot or two, but again, it only take one perfect shot to knock somebody out. But he gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he keep his defense tight, try to catch as much as he can on the gloves, and not allow too many flush shots. Man, use his feet, use those angles. He can outbox Fundora, but it's gonna be hard though because Tony Harrison is on the downtrend and Fundora is on the uptrend. He's very young, very strong. Not to mention he's fucking 6'5", 6'6". I think every time I see him, he get taller and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Sebastian Fundora is he's not a traditional type of fighter that you're gonna see at 154. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I think some of the things that Carlos Ocampo exposed in the last fight, and even Erickson Lubin kind of exposed some things, some blind spots for Sebastian Fundora. That fight that he had versus I think the dude's name is Sergio Garcia. You know what I'm saying? I think he exposed a few things in Sebastian Fundora's game. So I definitely think there's some things that Tony Harrison could take advantage of. Shout out to the brother EV in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, would you consider Fundora to be the real deal? I'll say this. Shout out to the Queen Nick J in the building. Say we juicing. Hey, I got the green juice on deck. You know what I'm saying? Little kale. You feel me? Little banana. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of kiwi in there. A little bit of blueberry. Something slight. A little bit of spring water. Something slight. You feel me? I'm just, what I mean? I'm getting it in, man. Starting the morning out right. It's my birthday and shit. You feel me? So I'm like, I'm going to be doing a little sipping later. You know what I'm saying? So I got to start the day right on a healthy note. You dig what I'm saying? But to answer the brother question, I think Sebastian Fundora is formidable. You know what I'm saying? I think he's formidable. As far as him being a real deal, do I think he's like a pound for pound talent, a future pound for pound type of fighter? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see more because that fight versus Carlos Ocampo, it kind of, I don't know. He's still young. Yeah, he's still young. Fundora still, I like Fundora. I'm a big fan of Sebastian Fundora. I like the fact that he got a motor on him. And he throw punches and bunches. And he steadfast. He go downhill. I like that about him. I would just love to see Fundora. And I know he's not going to do this. Maybe he will change this. But it seemed like this set in stone for Fundora. He fights like a guy with shorter reach. He wants to fight on the inside. He wants to bang on the inside. He does not use his range. I've seen fighters like this before. Robert Easter Jr. comes to mind. Guys who have a huge reach advantage, but they just don't use it. And this just might be something that just might be his style. You know what I'm saying? He liked the uppercut. That just might be his thing. So I'm not mad at it. And I think there's ways that he can incorporate the uppercut but still have an outside game. He don't got no outside game. Everything is mid-range and up close. Really mid-range because that's how he get his shots off. Say use your distance, Fundora. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm excited about these fights, man. But like I said, Shakur Stevenson and Isak Cruz. Do y'all think Isak Cruz really got a chance to beat Shakur Stevenson? Do y'all think that we know how Shakur Stevenson loves to control the distance and loves to keep a guy at the end of his punches, barely make him miss and make him pay. But Isak Cruz is really good at crashing the pocket. What y'all think about that fight? Said no way. 11-1. Pitbull not that good. All he does is press. Said all he do is press square and circle. I seriously doubt it. I agree with y'all. I think it's an exciting fight, but if we gonna keep it 100, man, Shakur, I think Shakur gonna be able to tame him, but it ain't gonna be easy though. It ain't gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. This is gonna be a fight where Shakur gonna have to be on his shit. Said I think he stopped Shakur. Damn. Run 501 said Eastside Cruz gonna stop Shakur. Damn. Said Shakur will win, but he will be tested. Okay. Shout out to the brother Joe Hewitt in the building. What's good? Said I think it'll be a harder fight for Shakur than people think. I agree, bro. Because look, think about it like this. This is the thing for me. I think Shakur will be able to, if Isaac Cruz don't put the pressure on him from round one, Shakur Stevenson can have a pretty easy night with him. You know what I'm saying? Be able to keep him at a distance and control him with the jab and with good sharp counters. The thing is that Isaac Cruz have a hell of a chin. So what if he go in there and go for broke, similar to how Marcos Maidana might do? Say, fuck all the shit that you throwing at me. I'm finna get all up in your grill and make it a wild night for you. You know what I'm saying? And Shakur Stevenson got excellent defense, but some of them shots be getting through. When he fought, what's my boy name? Conceição, some of them shots be getting through. And Isaac Cruz got a little pop on him. Got some nice little explosiveness with him. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think he's gonna get tested. We might see a situation where Shakur, I ain't gonna say he gonna get hurt, but I think he might get, maybe stunned a little bit to where, okay, damn, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I think Isaac Cruz gonna have a moment in that fight. I don't think he gonna win, but I think he gonna have a moment. Shout out to the brother D Lucky back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, how will Shakur hit this man? It's not easy. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Isaac Cruz got really good defense. Not like great head movement and all that, but he got a good guard on him. Isaac Cruz keep his guard up good. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Tank Davis, he broke his hand on Isaac Cruz? I think he broke his hand on that man's head because he got his head made of rocks. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Cruz got a boulder head. You feel what I'm saying? His head made of rocks and shit, right? But the motherfucker keep his guard up too, so I think that played a big factor. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Cruz, whoever trained him on his guard, they did a beautiful job because that motherfucker keep his guard up. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, keep his shit up. It's hard to get through Isaac Cruz's guard. You got to catch him in between punches. And Shakur Stevenson is good at that. Shakur is good at that. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll have success in that regard, but it ain't going to be easy, though. You said Shakur IQ crazy. Absolutely. One of the best. One of the best. Shakur Stevenson is one of the most intelligent fighters in the sport today. So I think he'll be able to find a way ultimately to come out on top in that fight. But that's going to be a good one. And then they say the winner, I mean, it's a title eliminator for the WBC. So the winner out of that moves on to fight the winner out of Devin Haney and Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be very interesting as well. With everything at stake, Shakur Stevenson, I missed your super chat. Let me go back up. My fault. I think with everything at stake, Shakur gonna bring his shit. Shout out to the brother Southpaw Killer in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, so Shakur have the power to keep Cruz honest. I don't know. Are you asking, do Shakur have the power to keep Cruz honest? That's a great question. That's a great question because, and that's what I was alluding to, because dude got a hell of a chin. So if Isaac Cruz is gonna go for broke, and he got a good guard, and even sometimes when you catch him between punches, he got a hell of a chin on him. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be hitting him in the head and shit, hitting him all on the temple, and it don't faze him. You know what I'm saying? He just keep coming forward. So when you got a fighter like that, they can take extra risks. They can take more risks than you can take. You know what I'm saying? Or they could take more risks than an average fighter is willing to take, which makes them more dangerous because they'll put you in positions that you normally won't be in. They'll throw shots when you least expect it. You know what I'm saying? They can afford to kind of sacrifice a little bit of defense to break that pocket and crash that pocket and get in close with you and make you fight when you don't want to fight. Those type of guys are risky as hell. Shout out to the brother EV back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said Isak can awkwardly get low. Don't sleep on his defense. Big facts. Big facts. Y'all seen how when he was fighting Gamboa, and I know Gamboa ain't no damn Shakur Stevenson, but just analyzing Isak Cruz and his performance, he'll get low and come up with that overhand right. You know what I'm saying? He'll get real low, and sometimes that shit hard to gauge. Now I know Shakur gonna see that. You know, fighters with an IQ as high as Shakur Stevenson, they gonna see that shit. But he'll get low and come up high with the overhand right. And then sometimes he'll just be getting low, so you don't know when he coming up with that punch. Shout out to the brother Black Boxing Kings in the building, man. I appreciate you for pulling up, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up, man. Nice to have you. Said Shakur gonna see that all night. Yeah, I think Shakur gonna see a lot of this shit that Isak Cruz doing before he do it. You know what I'm saying? Or right when he go into that motion, I think Shakur is gonna identify that and be able to either get out the way or take advantage of it, go on the offensive on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a lot of good fights that got ordered. I'm excited to see those. You know what I'm saying? But now let's get back into, you know, the main topic here. How important for Errol Spence? How important is Undisputed? How important is it? You know what I'm saying? How important is Undisputed? Do you fight Keith Thurman right now? It's a good money fight. You know, Terrence Crawford can't go fight nobody else and have a bigger fight than what Errol Spence gonna have versus Keith Thurman. Even if Terrence Crawford go back and fight, if Manny Pacquiao came back now after losing the Ugas, even though we know how big Manny Pacquiao fan base is, if he came back right now and fought Terrence Crawford, that fight won't be bigger than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman right now. It won't. There's nobody that Terrence Crawford can fight right now in and around his division that'll be bigger than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. So it's a good money fight. Good money fight. It's a fight that has history. It's a fight that it's a fight that'll look good on Errol Spence's resume when it's all said and done. You know, damn, you beat up Keith Thurman. You stopped Keith Thurman. He can be the first person to stop Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? It's a grudge match. It's a grudge match. As much as Errol Spence don't want to put no food on Keith Thurman's plate, I know he want to whoop Keith Thurman's ass. I know he do. I know Errol Spence is perplexed right now. I know he thinking like, damn, I don't want to feed that man. I don't want to put no food on this plate. I don't want to put no dollars in his pockets. But I know Errol Spence want to whoop his ass. I know he do. I know he want to whoop his ass. I know he want to whoop his ass. So I think Errol Spence is facing a dilemma right now. I think Earl really going through it right now, man. What should I do? Should I go ahead and try to stay at welterweight for 2 more fights, whoop Keith Thurman, and then hopefully make the Terrence Crawford fight for Undisputed? Or do I say, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and move up to 154 because, look, I can't stay at this weight division for 2 more fights. I can't do it, man. I done already been here for years. You know what I'm saying? Trying to collect all these belts. Had some unfortunate events that happened along the way. Now we finally get Terrence Crawford cornered. We finally get him cornered, and I'm finally at his door trying to rip that belt up off of him for the last piece for Undisputed, and he escaped out the back window. You know what I'm saying? So for Errol Spence, man, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of things to consider. He got options, but what's the best option? Nick J said he ain't fighting Thurman. You might be right. You might be right. I'm going to tell you like this. I wouldn't mind if Errol Spence said, fuck it, I'm going up to 154. But you know why? Because we can still get the Terrence Crawford fight at 154. I know Terrence Crawford going to probably make a big deal about that. Oh, you know, he don't want Undisputed, or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he trying to have an advantage. But no, you can't say that because you said you will fight Jermell Charlo at 154. So if you will fight Jermell Charlo, you going to fight Errol Spence at 154. Shout out to the brother Vincent Roof in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, I don't want Earl to be stripped. I agree with you. I agree. I don't want that neither. But I think if Errol Spence doesn't fight Keith Thurman, he's moving up. Because at that point, it don't make no sense to even stay at 147. If you lose one of the belts, there's literally no reason to stay at 147. So this right here, we're going to figure out if Errol Spence do fight Keith Thurman, we know he going to try to go back and get that undisputed match with Terrence Crawford. If he don't fight Keith Thurman, we know he going up to 154. So this is a pivotal moment in Errol Spence's career. This is a pivotal moment. Said I would love to see Errol Spence versus Brian Castano. Me too. I think that's a great first fight at 154. They got history. Brian Castano beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. They definitely got history. Think it's a great fight stylistically. We can do that fight right here in Dallas, Texas, Cowboy Stadium. Big fight. It ain't a big fight, but, you know, it's Errol Spence at 154. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers going to come pay to see that. It's a good fight. And Brian Castano is always exciting to watch. Very action-packed. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, this is a pivotal moment in Errol Spence's career. This right here is going to be the turning point. Am I going to stay at 147 and try to squeeze out 2 more counts to make 147 to become undisputed? Or I'm going to go ahead and go up to 154 and try to do it up there? You know? Said Spence after 2 times Jermell, that can end bad. Said Spence after 2 times Jermell, that could be bad. That can end bad. I'm not sure what you mean. Said nobody talking about Earl fighting Boots. Fuck Keith fight Boots. But see, this the thing, Southpaw Killer. The reason, let me tell you why people have mentioned Errol Spence fighting Boots, but let me tell you why nobody talking about that right now. Think about it. If Errol Spence is going to stay at 147, I'm telling you, the Jaron Boots fight is going to happen at 54. If that fight happens, it's going to be at 54. It's not going to be at 47. There's literally no reason for Errol Spence to stay at 147 and fight Boots. Boots is not the mandatory. Boots not no mandatory. I don't know where you got that information from, but he's not a mandatory. The only mandatories Errol Spence got is Keith Thurman and Imantas Stanionis. There is no mandatory for the IBL. Boots is the #1 contender, but he's not a mandatory. Imantas Stanionis is the regular champion for the WBA, which makes him next in line of succession for the Super WBA title that Errol Spence holds. Keith Thurman has been ordered by the WBC as the mandatory. That's a mandatory. Boots ain't no mandatory. So why would Errol Spence stay at 147 and fight Boots for what? When you can fight Keith Thurman for way more money. The Boots fight is gonna happen at 54, and I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna be. Jaron Boots Ennis is gonna win titles at 147. Errol Spence will be a champion at 154. This will give Jaron Boots Ennis an opportunity to become a 2-division champion and go and fight Errol Spence for a title at 154. It's not gonna happen at 47. I'm telling you, it's just not. It don't. I would love to see it, but logically thinking, if I'm gonna stay at 147 and I just got ordered to fight Keith Thurman or I'm gonna lose my belt, why the fuck would I fight Boots? I might as well just move up to 154 and bring him up there. Why would I lose my belt and then fight a harder fight than Keith Thurman for nothing, for less money, when I could just move up to a better weight where I feel more comfortable, more healthy, and then go get a belt? You know what I'm saying? So I think the Virgil Ortiz fight is going to happen at 54. I actually think, me personally, Errol Spence versus Virgil Ortiz at 154 is a bigger fight than the Boots fight. You know what I'm saying? I think Errol Spence versus, shout out to my brother Rivera Frazier in the building. He said, hit that like button, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate it. I think Errol Spence versus Virgil Ortiz, that's going to be a big fight at 54. That's going to be a big fight at 54. I actually think we might get Errol Spence and Virgil Ortiz before we get Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. Which is a damn shame, but it's a big fight. You got Virgil Ortiz from Grand Prairie, Errol Spence from DeSoto, Cowboy Stadium. Every time Virgil fight out here in Texas, it's a big event. Errol Spence, you know what he do at Cowboy Stadium. He averaging 35, 40,000 people in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You bring Virgil Ortiz, who got a great DFW Texas base. Errol Spence got the same thing, even on a higher level. Plus, Virgil Ortiz bringing a Mexican fan base. And Errol Spence bringing his fan base that consists of a huge black fan base, and then internationally, he got fans all over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge fight in Texas. That's a big fight. That's a big fight. The gate gonna do numbers. That's a big fight. I'm telling y'all, Errol Spence got options, man. He got options. That's a big fight. And then not to mention, stylistically, it's a hell of a matchup. Now, I would love to see Boots versus Stanionis next. That's a great fight. If Errol Spence fight Keith Thurman, I think Boots will fight Stanionis. I truly believe that. Shout out to the brother Black Boxing Kings in the super chat coming through and showing love. He says, salute, Contender Regime Boxing. Hey, salute to you, brother. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you. I would love to see Boots versus Stanionis next. If they do Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, you gotta put Jaron Boots Ennis and Stanionis on that undercard. You got to. You got to. You gotta do that. Said, so is Jermell dropping the belts and moving up? I don't see either one beating him. That's a good question. Jermell Charlo, I think Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, they got an agreement worked out. Or maybe not even agreement. I would say more so an understanding. I think when Errol Spence goes to 154, maybe not immediately, but once Errol Spence gets into title contention for 154, I think Jermell moves up. I don't see Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo fighting, so I don't even think that's something that, I know Earl mentioned that he would consider it, but I don't think that's something that's gonna actually happen. It'll get too messy. You know what I'm saying? It'll get too messy, and me personally, I wouldn't want to see that because they both got the same trainer, and I just don't think it makes sense. You feel me? Shout out to the OG Mr. Money in the building. What's good? I don't think that fight happens. So once Errol Spence go up, I think this what's gonna happen. He gonna go up and fight somebody like a Brian Castano, maybe even an Erickson Lubin or Sebastian Fundora. He gonna fight somebody like that. He might have 1 or 2 fights and then a title shot. But definitely he gonna have 1 fight first that's not a title shot. Maybe like a title eliminator. And then, only then, will Jermell Charlo be like, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and move up to 160. I conquered the division. I done beat everybody in this motherfucker that's worth some. Became undisputed. Defended my undisputed crown. That's another thing that people not talking about. Jermell Charlo can legitimately defend his 4 titles. Shit, 1, 2, 3, 4 times if he want to. So I think Jermell Charlo gonna defend his undisputed crown at least 2 or 3 times. And then he gonna be like, what's the point of me even staying in this division? You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, it's your time to take over now. I think Jermell gonna go up. He gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? I think Jermell moves up and Errol Spence then gets to fight for one of those vacant titles. Said, honestly, Bud Crawford. Oh, man. My boy Run 501 going crazy. They doing some landscaping and shit outside, so hopefully that sound ain't too bad for y'all. I apologize if it is. Shout out to the brother Nature Boy in the building. What's good? Vic 911 in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Warriors Boxing LLC in the building. What's good? Said, how many title defenses does he have so far at 154? Title defenses in general, that's a great question. He got a lot of title defenses. He done defended the WBC plenty times. He defended the Unified Championship versus Brian Castano in the Undisputed match twice, and then won the WBO from him. He defended his title quite a few times. Remember, he lost the WBC to Tony Harrison, went back and got it. You know what I'm saying? Then defended it again in a unification match. You know what I'm saying? So he done definitely defended his title a lot in that division, the WBC particularly. But now he has an opportunity to defend all 4 titles, which is going to be lit. Because you don't see fighters do that often. You don't see guys become undisputed and then defend that shit. Most time, guys, they become undisputed and they just go up to a whole nother weight class. You said Earl will stop Jermell. I don't think so, bruh. I don't think so. Y'all know I love Errol Spence. But I don't really see nobody at 154 beating Jermell Charlo. Shout out to the Queen, Miss T in the building. What's good? Said, you think EJ fights Thurman? Or he sticks to his word? That's a great question. And that's really what I wanted to kind of get from y'all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying they think that he gonna move up to 154 and say fuck Keith Thurman. But then some people saying that, you know, they think he'll stay and try to capture Undisputed, because if he wants to be undisputed, he gotta fight Keith Thurman. That's the dilemma. He said he would never fight Keith Thurman, but he also said that he wants to be undisputed. So if he want to be undisputed, he gotta fight Keith Thurman, or else the WBC gonna strip him. That's the fucked up part about this whole shit. It's like, okay, do you really want to be undisputed? Or do you want to go try to do it at 54? Said, I don't know, bro. That's a tough fight. Jermell tough as hell. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Errol Spence, and I think he's a great fighter, but styles make fights, and you know, you got to look at not only just overall boxing ability, but like size too. That shit matter, especially when you moving up in weight. I don't know, man. I think Jermell Charlo, I think highly of his skill set. I just think Jermell Charlo got a lot of ability that he still haven't even tapped into. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that I will pick Errol Spence to beat Jermell at 54. I'm not saying that he can't win. I'm just saying I can't pick Errol Spence to beat Jermell Charlo at 154. Here go D Lucky wilding, man. Come on, bruh. Here go D Lucky talking about Bud to stop Charlo. He not fucking with Errol Spence. Come on, man. He not fucking with Errol Spence. How he fucking with Jermell Charlo? Come on, D Lucky. You know better than that, man. Jermell Charlo will send Terrence Crawford ass to the gulag. Jermell Charlo will send Terrence Crawford ass straight to hell. And I hate to see that for him. I want to see that man living. And, you know, being with his family. You know what I'm saying? And smiling on Instagram and shit. Getting on live and lying and shit. I'd rather see him do that than, you know, get sent to the gulag. Shout out to the brother Captain in the super chat. Coming through and showing love. He said, salute, fam. Hey, salute to you, brother. I appreciate you for pulling up. Salute to you. Salute to you. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munt in the super chat. Coming through and showing love. You know he finna give you some game. He said, EJ may outwork Mel, but stop him? No. I believe Mel and Maul grew up hitting each other with bricks. Them dudes tough. Big facts. Big facts. I can see that. I can see that, you know. I can see Errol Spence catching Jermell Charlo on one of those nights like he had in the first fight with Brian Castano, where he being stubborn, not listening to his coach, not following the game plan, not being active enough. I can see Errol Spence being tactical and being a workhorse and just outworking him and winning on the cards. I can see that. That's possible. But I also can see Jermell Charlo landing some shit on Errol Spence and fucking him up. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? Or I can see him boxing with Earl, you know, using lateral movement and maybe winning a close decision. I can see it's so many outcomes with that fight, but I see more leaning towards Jermell Charlo at 54. I don't think motherfuckers realize how hard Jermell Charlo hit. That motherfucker got real power. And he got a chin. And he got speed and athleticism and great boxing ability. Man, say that dude not easy to beat, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah, you're right. They both got that, but I don't know. Look, let me say this. I gotta see Earl at 54 first. Let me see him at 54. Let me see Errol Spence at 54, then I can give you a better judgment. But right now, nah. Boots, when Boots go up to 154, then that's different. Because I think Jaron Boots Ennis gonna bring a different skill set and size to 154. And I think stylistically, Boots might match up better with Jermell Charlo than Errol Spence do. Keep in mind, I view fights and I judge matchups when I do like predictions and stuff. I judge it off of stylistically. You know what I'm saying? When Boots stylistically, in my opinion, I think he match up better with a Jermell Charlo. I'm not saying that he beat Jermell either, but I'm saying that stylistically, I think he match up better. You know what I'm saying? With the hand speed, foot movement, combination punches. Because Jermell Charlo, you know, sometimes you can, if you make Jermell Charlo miss a little wide, you can catch him in between shots. You feel what I'm saying? Errol Spence is more tactical and more steadfast and more selective with his combinations. He don't just run off combinations like that. Jaron Boots Ennis, he'll run off combinations on your ass unannounced. And I think that could give Jermell Charlo problems. On the other hand, I like Errol Spence stylistically versus Boots. See what I mean? Styles make fights. I like Errol Spence versus Boots stylistically. Because I think he'll slow all that fast shit that Boots be doing. I think he'll slow that shit down and take Boots to the late rounds and see what that stamina like. I know Boots be in the gym working. I know that motherfucker in shape. But it's different when you actually under them lights and you get taken to deep quarters. But stylistically, I think I like Boots stylistically better than I like Earl versus Jermell. Shout out to the OG Mr. Month back in that super chat coming through and showing love. He said, the male that fought Castano in the second fight showed us everything. Big facts. If you missed it, go back and watch that fight. That was the complete performance versus Jermell Charlo in the Castano 2 fight. Said he showed us everything. Like I said, he damn near the perfect fighter when he put everything together. Big facts. Big facts. He showed us everything in that second fight. Everything. Make sure I ain't missed nothing. Okay. He showed us everything, bruh. He showed us the foot movement, lateral foot movement. He showed us angles. He showed hand speed. He showed timing, patience, punching power. He showed a chin. He showed good defense, head movement. He showed you the ability to tie up when he needed to. He showed that he was able to be coachable and listen to Derrick James and actually apply the shit that he was being taught, that Derrick James was giving him in between rounds. Go back and I think people not really understanding how good of a fighter Jermell Charlo really is. Go back and watch that rematch with Brian Castano. He showed everything, bruh. From round 1 to round, what, he stopped him in the 10th? Bruh, Jermell Charlo a dog, bruh. He different. He different. He different. He different. But yeah, it's gonna be I think at 54, it's really gonna get it's gonna get interesting. Because I don't see Jaron Ennis making 47 for a long time. I don't see Virgil Ortiz making 47 for a long time. Errol Spence, if not now, you know, in the next couple of weeks or a month or so, we gonna find out what Errol Spence, what he gonna do next. But he might be at 54 in his next fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's finna get real. It's finna get real. Imantas Stanionis is a big guy. I don't think he stays at 47 for an extended period of time. These welterweights coming up now, man, they some big dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Errol Spence and Boots Ennis, I think that fight gonna happen at 54. Definitely we gonna get Errol Spence and Virgil Ortiz at 54. And that's gonna be a big fight. I think we're gonna get that fight first. I think Errol Spence gonna try to knock off Ortiz and get that bag, and then go ahead and get at Boots. You know what I'm saying? That might turn out to be Errol Spence's toughest fight. The Jaron Boots Ennis fight at 154, that might turn out to be his toughest fight. Even after whooping Terrence Crawford ass. I think Earl, if Terrence Crawford, you know, finally let his nuts drop, man, and say, you know, let me go ahead and get in there with that man. You feel me? Even if it's at 154. I think Earl gonna whoop his ass. And then next we probably gonna get an Earl versus a Fundora for like a stay busy fight. Or we'll bring up Virgil Ortiz and make that fight right here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Cowboy Stadium is going down. If Errol Spence fight Virgil Ortiz in Cowboy Stadium, oh, Truck Simpson gonna be in there too. Yeah, I want to see Truck Simpson be more active. Shout out to Truck Simpson, man. I want to see him be more active so he can get in this mix. Because he supposed to be talked about right now. He supposed to be in the conversation right now, but he ain't been fighting. He supposed to have about 15, 20 fights right now. He supposed to be in the conversation. I know he's still young, but he supposed to be in the conversation. But when Errol Spence fight Virgil Ortiz, Cowboy Stadium, it's gonna be 50,000 plus. I guarantee it's gonna be 50,000 plus in there. Minimum 50,000. Said, contender, did you hear Crawford said he might retire? Hold on. Said he might retire on his interview. I did see somebody sent me an interview where Terrence Crawford was saying that he's been blamed for everything. So if that's the interview that you're talking about, I haven't actually watched it yet. After the live, I'm gonna go watch it and see what he's talking about. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, he done win and robbed BLK Prime. You know, he done win and robbed BLK Prime, came up on a bag. You know what I'm saying? And Nick J say him and Ammo. Yeah, I think Ammo fighting at 160 now, ain't he? Or is he at 54? I think Ammo fighting at 160. But yeah, you know, he done win and rob BLK Prime. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence Crawford go ahead and hang it up. You know what I'm saying? He done came up on a little quick bag. I wouldn't be surprised. That would be a very Terrence Crawford thing to do. Said he been talking with BLK Prime since June. Yeah, look, he exposed that already. Remember, he was talking about, he got the term sheet in August. But he was talking about, he was bringing proposals to Al Haymon, talking about, I got these hedge fund companies. He said that was way back in August, way before August. You know what I'm saying? That was way back then. He already been in conversations with them people, man. That shit didn't just pop up in no 48 hours. Man, he been talking to them people, man. He always had a backdoor plan. Whole time, Errol Spence, all he wanted was Terrence Crawford. That's all he wanted. You know, when he got on the mic after the Yordenis Ugas fight, Jim Gray didn't have to ask him, about Terrence Crawford. He just said, well, what's next? Errol Spence said, well, you know what I want. I want Terrence Crawford next. That's all been on Errol Spence's mind. He ain't had no backup plan. That man ain't trying to sit and wait at 147. Said, watch the interview, you'll see. All right, I'm going to check it out, D-Lucky. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see what he talking about. Man, come on. Hey, D-Lucky, though, what else? What more can he say, though, bro? He done already got on live and started lying on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, somebody said he won't open the door. Yeah, man, Errol Spence, he had the shirts ready. You think Errol spent that money on them shirts, on that merchandise for nothing? No, man, that's all he had on his mind was Terrence Crawford. That's all he had on his mind, bro. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to beat Terrence Crawford ass. That's it. That's all he wanted. And then you got, Terrence Crawford sneaking out the back door. Shout out to my brother Justin Coleman, said happy birthday. Man, I appreciate you, my boy. Appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're going to turn up today, man. It's going to be lit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a vibe all day, man. And, you know what I'm saying? Got a little something going on later on tonight. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's up. It's up. Said Bud never wanted to fight Earl. You know what, man? I believe that something deep down inside Terrence Crawford, he want to fight Errol Spence. But I don't think he fully committed, though. I think he apprehensive. I think he worried about some shit. I think he worried about some shit, man. I think he worried about what it's gonna look like if he take that L. I think he worried about, all the people out here that believe in him, letting them down. You know what I'm saying? I think he worried about shit like that. He say, even if I don't fight Errol Spence right now, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I think he worried about how his legacy gonna look if he get his ass whooped by Errol Spence. I think he worried about that shit. That's why he always say, I don't need Earl. You know what I'm saying? I can go to the Hall of Fame right now and I don't got to fight nobody. He worried about that. Shout out to the brother D Lucky back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said he will fight Spence next and still going to 154. He said that the mission hasn't changed. Okay. I would love that. If Terrence Crawford willing to go to 154, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? That make it even better. Go ahead and fight Avenesian, beat up on Avenesian, and then Errol Spence, no matter what he decide to do, if he decide to fight Keith Thurman and stay at 47, then we got an undisputed match brewing. And if he decide to go up to 154, Terrence Crawford need to be a man of his word and go to 154 and get his ass whooped. D Lucky, let me ask you this. Shout out to the brother Jay Miller in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, happy B-Day, champ. Stay blessed. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that, dog. 100. Appreciate you. Hey, D Lucky, let me ask you a question. If I want to ask all y'all this. If Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford happens at 154, what difference, if any, does that make on the outcome of the fight? Is the matchup, do you think one fighter gains an advantage over the other? Or do you think it's beneficial for both guys? What do you think that means for the fight if it happens at 154? Shout out to my brother, the real Marlo TV in the building. What's good, brother? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Thank you, dog. Appreciate that. Say it gets worse for Bud. Said they'll say Bud came from 135. Oh, you know them excuses gonna come. Said nothing at all, still 50-50. Okay. I like that. Hey, D Lucky. I know you trio, bro. You know what I'm saying? You a real one, D Lucky. So I know when it's all said and done, bro, you gonna keep it 100. You feel what I'm saying? Even though you be in here saying some bullshit when it come to Terrence Crawford, but I know after Earl whoop his ass, I know you gonna give Earl his props. But I'm gonna hold you to that. Because if it happened at 54 and Earl do something bad to him, I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he brought him up in weight. I don't want to hear none of that. Said, you saw what Earl did to Ugas, Brook. You think Bud wants that? Right. That's what I'm saying. Said the man can't get up the balls to fight the cream of the crop at 147. It's hurricane season up at 154. Hey, say at 154. See that's why I really want to see. I ain't gonna lie. If we can't get that shit next, of course it ain't happening next. But if we can't get that shit in the next two fights, bro, like ASAP, bro, 154 really gonna be where it's at. And if Terrence Crawford serious about continuing his career at that division, that's gonna be where it's at, bro. And it's gonna be hard to duck smoke at 154 because number one, it's a different division. Them guys different up there. The skill set's different. The size different. The competition is different. The way motherfuckers moving at 154 is different. It's like, bruh, if you a fighter that's ducking smoke at 154, you're not gonna be around long, bruh. And it's gonna be apparent that you don't want to fight the best because all those guys have to fight at 154. They all end up having to run across some smoke. And you know what the best thing about it is? They want that. They desire the competition. That's what make it even better. That's what make it even better. Shout out to the OG, Mr. Month, back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, guys like Castano, hold on, let me say it. He said, guys like Castano, Tim Zoo are on the smaller side at 154. It's some big dudes up there, big dudes who can fight. Big facts. Big facts. Shout out to the brother D Lucky back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, Buzz said he's still in his prime. I believe it. That's the type of energy that I want, Terrence Crawford. Shout out to my brother, Just Flesh in the building. Hold on, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and hit my boy with that strap. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Appreciate you for pulling up on me, brother. I appreciate that. That's family right there. You did what I'm saying? But that I love to hear that, because if Terrence Crawford's serious about continuing his career, not retiring no time soon, and doing it at 154, well, let's make it happen. We can do the Errol Spence fight at 154. Why not? Earl ain't got to keep straining his body to make 147. Go on and move up. Fuck it. Let's do it. Boo's going to be up there soon. Virgil Ortiz going to be up there. Mel's still up there. See, when Earl go up, you know, and Mel say, you know, he might want to relinquish one of those titles before he move up to 160, he might do a voluntary defense versus Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might do something like that. It's a lot of competition at 154. Go ahead and move up there, bud. Let's see what you really made of. Let's see what you really made of, bud. Say, yeah, Terrence still in his prime. BLK prime, that is. Hey, man. It's a lot of smoke up there, dog. I can't wait. I'm excited to see what happens, man. I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we going to find out what Errol Spence is going to do with this Keith Thurman situation. If they going to actually make the fight, or if he going to drop that belt and just go ahead and move up. If he does that, that's all we need to know about what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? At that point, we just need to figure out, okay, who going to be that first opponent at 54? Because I would like to see Errol Spence in the ring no later than February. Hopefully by the end of December. You know, they just made the Frank Martin and Mikael Rivera fight for December 17th. We all thought that was originally going to be Errol Spence's date. So hopefully they can do Errol Spence for the end of December. Maybe even, you know, sometime in January. But I like to see Errol Spence back in the ring by February. You know, he was on a good pace fighting in April and then staying in shape, getting ready for this Terrence Crawford fight, or what was supposed to be the Terrence Crawford fight to happen this fall. But we seen what Terrence Crawford just did. Ran out the back door and shit. You know what I'm saying? Threw rocks and hit his hand. You know what I'm saying? Been talking to BLK Prime on the low the whole time and then made a little backdoor deal. You feel what I'm saying? So that kind of left Errol Spence on standby. You know, now he out the ring extra time because of your ass, Terrence Crawford. Come on now. Shout out to the brother D Lucky back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, what if he wins at 154? He said, what if Terrence Crawford win at 154? If he beat Earl at 154, shit, that's a great accomplishment. He gonna get all the credit in the world from me. He gonna get all the credit in the world from me. He gonna get the same credit that he'll get if he beat Errol Spence at 147 for Undisputed. He get all the credit. He gonna get all the credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always said that, like, I'm not finna make no excuses. I think it's a 50-50 fight. And I think Terrence Crawford can win that fight. But stylistically, I think Errol Spence matches up better. I think Terrence Crawford gonna get broke down. Slowly but surely. And ultimately get stopped. And if it goes to the cards, it's Errol Spence. If the fight go to the cards, that means Terrence Crawford had a terrible night. That means he had a terrible night. If Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford go to the cards, that's gonna be indicative of Terrence Crawford having a terrible night. If it go to the cards, only way Terrence Crawford win is by knockout. Shout out to the OG Mr. Month back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He going crazy. He said, who can outbox Tony Harrison at 154? Nobody. You may knock him out, but ain't nobody outboxing him. That's a good point. That's a good point. Tony Harrison is an excellent boxer. Great timing, great counterpunching. Pretty good defense, but sometimes he get reckless and get caught on the chin, man. And that's been his downfall versus Jerry Hurd, versus Jamel Charlo. Who else he got beat by? I think he got beat by somebody else too. But that's always been his downfall. You know what I'm saying? But he said, William Talbot said, how? Come on, man. If the fight go to the cards, Terrence Crawford don't throw enough punches to beat Errol Spence on the cards. He's not active enough. He's a sharpshooter looking for one perfect shot. Yeah, Jerry Hurd. Willie Nelson, that's who it was, Willie Nelson. You know what I'm saying? He was winning those fights. He was outboxing. Now the Jamel Charlo fight, the part 2, you can say he was winning, but I had Jamel up in that fight, but it was very close. But all the fights that he lost, he was either winning or right there boxing to a victory, and then he got stopped. But yeah, you know, if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I don't care what division it's in, if it go to the cards, that's going to tell me that Terrence Crawford had a terrible night. That's going to tell me that shot that he was looking for all night, it never came. That's going to tell me that Errol Spence had his way with him. You know what I'm saying? He was getting to the body, you know, keeping him at the end of the jab, breaking him down, making Terrence Crawford fight at his pace. If the fight go to the cards, Terrence Crawford had a terrible night. Shout out to the brother Jay Harris, Too Real in the building. What's good? If that fight go to the cards, Terrence Crawford had a terrible night. The only way he wins is by knockout. That's the only way he wins. Errol Spence gonna throw more punches. He gonna land more punches. He gonna be the one coming forward, putting the pressure on Terrence Crawford. The judge is gonna like that. He gonna land the most jabs. He gonna be the most physically dominant in the fight. He gonna be leaning on Terrence Crawford. I mean, if the fight go to the cards, bro, it's gonna be bad for Terrence Crawford. He's not winning a decision. He just not. He got to knock out Errol Spence. Said that shot that he be looking for may not affect Errol. That's another problem. That's another problem. I said that before. If Terrence Crawford get in there and hit Errol Spence with his best shot and it don't hurt him, you know he in trouble. If Errol Spence don't respect his power, which I think Errol Spence gonna respect it, but I don't think his power is gonna be as effective as it is versus these other guys. You know what I'm saying? So I think when Bud lands something serious on Errol Spence and Earl just shrugged that shit off, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad. That's when you get into, oh, Bud finna get stopped. That's when you get into the territory of Errol Spence in 8 rounds. Said it's the punches you don't see coming, bro. You know that. You're right. You're right. So I agree with you, William Talbot. He gonna have to knock Errol Spence out. But the punches you see coming don't got shit to do with you winning the decision. You know what I'm saying? If he don't land one of those punches you don't see coming and it go to the cards, who you think gonna get the decision? Who you think gonna be the one coming forward, landing the most punches, applying pressure? Who you think gonna be winning the rounds? How many fighters have you seen consistently just win rounds on Errol Spence? How many? You know what I'm saying? How many fighters have you seen fight Errol Spence and actually dictate the pace and control the pace of the fight? Not many. How many fighters you seen made Errol Spence fight their fight as opposed to Errol Spence just doing what he want to do in a fight? Not many. I think Terrence Crawford going to be a counterpuncher and he going to sit back and Errol Spence going to be first and Errol Spence going to be the one dictating the pace of the fight. That's how he going to win rounds. And if Terrence Crawford not landing the punch that you don't see coming, it's going to go to the cards. And who you think going to be up on the rounds? It's going to be the guy who threw damn near 1,000 punches, who was going to your body, who was pushing you back the whole night. That's who going to win the fight. Shout out to the Queen, Miss T, in the super chat, coming through and showing love. She said, you think Thurman will actually like the fight with EJ or take the fight with EJ? I think he will now because he's thirsty and he been asking for it. And it's going to be his biggest payday since the Manny Pacquiao fight. It'll immediately put him back at relevance. Yes, I think Keith Thurman will take the fight. Now he will. Said, I think he hopes EJ says no so he can act like he wanted to fight EJ better now than before. I think those things are true that you just said. EJ is better now than he was before. But I think Keith Thurman actually does want to fight. You know what I'm saying? I think Keith Thurman actually does. Now he wants to fight. Now he wants to fight. Said Bud can out jab if he wanted to. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like the reach advantage don't matter because it could matter, and in most cases it does. But you got to think about the guys that Terrence Crawford has been fighting, where they got 67-inch reach, 68-inch reach, 69-inch reach. Errol Spence got 72-inch reach. So that shit ain't gonna mean as much as you think. You know why? Because when he fought Kell Brook, who had 69-inch reach, 68 or 69-inch reach, Kell Brook was beating him with the jab. Kell Brook's jab got to Terrence Crawford before Terrence Crawford's jab got to Kell Brook. That's why he had to switch to southpaw. Now keep in mind, Kell Brook is an orthodox fighter. Terrence Crawford was fighting, or he started that fight out fighting orthodox, right? So if Terrence Crawford's jab and Kell Brook's jab is on opposite sides, Kell Brook's jab was getting to Terrence Crawford before Terrence Crawford's jab was getting to Kell Brook. That's why he switched to southpaw. That's why Terrence Crawford eye was all fucked up in just 2 rounds off the jab. Kell Brook was popping his shit back. That's all you seen for the first 2 rounds. Shout out to my boy Just Flex, because he had text me the night that fight was on. After the second round, he was like, yeah, I see you boy Kell Brook with the jab. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker saying every time, pop, Terrence Crawford shit popping back just off the jab. But what happened? He switched to southpaw and he put his lead hand on the same side as Kell Brook's jab. Now it's different because I believe Terrence Crawford is better at southpaw. So when you put your lead hand with that reach advantage on the same side as Kell Brook's jab, now you can get there. You can get there faster. And Kell Brook started to overexert himself and overextend himself. Terrence Crawford feinted, made Kell Brook jump in, and then he caught him running in with his lead hand. But with Errol Spence being a natural southpaw with a longer reach than Kell Brook, with a way better jab than Kell Brook, he gonna make Terrence Crawford fight in orthodox. You know why? Because if he try to fight southpaw, that he not gonna have that same ability to line up his lead hand with Errol Spence's jab. He gonna have to fight in orthodox so he can have his jab on the same side as Errol Spence's jab, so he can try to parry that shit and then, you know what I'm saying, try to get Errol Spence to overcommit and hit him with something. That's the only way he gonna be able to offset Errol Spence's jab. But me, I think Terrence Crawford is a better fighter at southpaw. And if he fights southpaw, he don't have that advantage that he had over Kell Brook. And then also, Errol Spence's reach is 2 or 3 inches longer than Kell Brook. Shout out to my brother Champside in the building, man. What's good? Said peace, contender regime, boxing Been wanting to see Earl fight Keith since he got the belt off Brook. Man, hey, salute the champ side, man. If y'all not subscribed to champ side already, I don't know what you doing. Make sure y'all subscribe to champ side. I know most of y'all in here already subscribed to champ side, man. But salute, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Been following your shit for a long time, bro. You an inspiration with this boxing shit, bro. Keep doing your thing. You did what I'm saying. And shout out to my brother Jay Harris Too Real in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, at this point, I just want to see the fight. If not now, then when? I think we get this fight next. In April. Are you talking about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, Jay Harris, or are you talking about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to answer the brother question though, you know, you right. You know, Terrence Crawford, he got a jab on him. Said Bud was setting him up. It's called making adjustments. But I just told you what the adjustment was, William Talbot. That was the adjustment. That adjustment not gonna work on Errol Spence. You think he gonna be able to do the same shit in orthodox to Errol Spence that he did in southpaw to Kell Brook? It's not gonna happen. Number one, Errol Spence is way more patient than Kell Brook. He got a way better jab. And he gonna make, if Terrence Crawford wanna do what he did to Kell Brook, he gonna have to do it in orthodox. It's not gonna work in southpaw. It's not gonna work. I would love to see Terrence Crawford knock out Errol Spence with an orthodox jab, making him overcommit and catching him. That shit not happening, bruh. It ain't happening. So think about that, William Talbot. The adjustment that Terrence Crawford made was switching to southpaw. Errol Spence is a natural southpaw. So that adjustment is not going to be the same as it was with Kell Brook. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen like that. But we going to see. We going to see. Your boy got to get in the ring first. Your boy got to get in the ring first. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Gabriel W in the building. What's good? Said Earl is already the southpaw, so Bud's advantage has to come from orthodox. Facts. Facts. And I think that's one of the most interesting things in that fight. Because I would love to see Terrence Crawford try to tame Errol Spence from orthodox and use his feet more. I think when he's in that stance, he uses his feet a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see that. I want to see. I'm not like, I don't think Terrence Crawford gonna be able to bang with Errol Spence. I want to see how good of a boxer Terrence Crawford is. I want to see how good of a mover he is. How can he avoid getting a ring cut off on him? Because Errol Spence is one of the best fighters when it comes to cutting off the ring. So can he evade? That's what's gonna get Keith Thurman fucked up. Because Keith Thurman ain't gonna be able to move around on Errol Spence. Earl gonna corner him and fuck him up. You know what I'm saying? He gonna cut the ring off and go to the body on him and fuck him up. So I want to see, can Terrence Crawford stay in orthodox, stay disciplined in orthodox, use his jab, box off the back foot, set up counter shots, make Earl miss and make him pay, make Earl overcommit on shots, and then catch him with shots that he don't see, and just box, be disciplined all night instead of getting into a firefight with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Instead of switching to southpaw and trying to bang with Errol Spence, because that's what's going to get him stopped. So it will impress me more if Terrence Crawford was able to actually outbox Errol Spence. Because I think it's extremely hard to not get the ring cut off when you fight Errol Spence. He always catch up to you, bro. He always gonna catch up to you. So if you can outbox Errol Spence, to me, that's more impressive. He said EJ and Bud. Okay. Said Keith and Earl will probably happen in January. Okay. Shout out to the OG Mr. Month back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said setting up EJ is tough. All his punches mean something. Bud gonna need to be 100 on defense. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Just like the coach Malik Scott said, shout out to Malik Scott, Deontay Wilder's trainer. He said, man, one of the most unique things about Derrick James coach fighters, particularly Errol Spence and Frank Martin, the things that you see them do in the gym, on the pads, on the mitts, on the heavy bag, you actually see that translate into the ring. Like Mr. Munt just said, everything that Errol Spence throws means something. He don't waste punches. He's economical and he picks his shots very well. Now, when I say economical, that don't mean he's throwing a very small amount of punches. That just means he's efficient with the shit. Everything he throw, he making it count. You dig what I'm saying? So even if he hitting you on the arms, on the elbows, on the hips, he hitting something. And that shit slowly but surely break you down over the course of the fight. He really be working these motherfuckers like they a heavy bag and shit. Like, motherfucker, you just here. I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what your name is, what your face look like, what belt you hold. You just here. I'm working. He treat these motherfuckers like a goddamn heavy bag for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be the interesting thing with Terrence Crawford, because you got to be disciplined when you fight Earl. Because if you make a mistake, he make you pay. You know, if you ain't in shape that night, he gonna make you pay. If you get tired at any moment, he gonna make you pay. If you're not strong enough to hold him on the clinch, he gonna make you pay. Everything means something when Errol Spence, when he's throwing punches on offense, and then on defense, the subtle movements, it always put him back in position to be able to throw a shot. Said Bud outboxes him easily. That's what I want to see, D Lucky. See, look, I think Terrence Crawford does have the power to knock out Errol Spence. Will that happen? I think it's unlikely, but it's possible, right? But I think Terrence Crawford outboxing Errol Spence would be way more impressive. I just don't think he can do it. I don't think he got it. I don't think he can do it. I don't think his feet is good enough. I don't think he's disciplined enough to stay out of a firefight, because at some point Errol Spence gonna land something on him and Terrence Crawford gonna want to fight. So I don't think he disciplined enough to not bang with Errol Spence. So at some point he gonna fight. And that's what's gonna get him fucked up. And the more Errol Spence land on him, the more Terrence Crawford gonna want to fight. I don't think he got a really good jab, but I don't think his jab is good enough to keep Earl on the end of it for 12 rounds and control Errol Spence. I don't think his jab is good enough, and I'm talking about from orthodox, because that's where he's gonna have to fight. He's not gonna be able to fight southpaw and stay out the way of Errol Spence jab. The same way Kell Brook was busting him up with the jab when their jabs were on opposite sides. Errol Spence gonna do the same shit if he fights southpaw. If Terrence Crawford is southpaw, Errol Spence gonna bust him up with the jab all night. So he gonna have to fight orthodox so he can have his jab on the same side and be able to like throw that bitch, like soon as Earl pop that bitch out, he gonna, you know what I'm saying, he gonna be trying to knock that bitch out the way and then get his shit in too. That's the only way he gonna be able to do it. And I don't know if he can do that in orthodox all night. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he can do that. You feel what I'm saying? So, but I want to see it though. I would love to see that. I think that would be extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. Said instead of just saying it's gonna be a good fight, these dudes say it's gonna be easy. Ain't nothing easy about this fight for either guy. That's facts, bro. That's facts. Ain't no way. You know, as much as I think Errol Spence gonna beat Terrence Crawford when they do fight, it ain't gonna be easy. It's definitely gonna be some things that Earl gonna have to overcome. He gonna have to overcome the speed and athleticism of Terrence Crawford. He gonna have to overcome the timing of Terrence Crawford, the counterpunching ability. It ain't gonna be easy. But you said it's not Bud's jab, it's what comes after the jab. Yeah, but if the jab not effective, the shit that he throwing after that ain't gonna be effective. In order for you to set something up after the jab gotta actually be effective. If your jab not doing, the jab is meant not just to land a shot, and you know, because it's not every fighter can use a jab as an attack. You know what I'm saying? Not every fighter is has a good enough jab to where it's not just a setup punch. That bitch actually can be a knockout shot, or that bitch can actually like land something on you. So it's not just so him landing that bitch. It gotta be effective. He gotta be able to set shit up behind, and then he does that well. But how well can he do that on Errol Spence? And is he gonna do it from the orthodox stance? Hey, D Lucky, do you think he gonna fight Earl from orthodox or southpaw? What do you think will give him the best opportunity to win? Said green beans drop, bud. Why are we having this convo? Exactly. I seen a lot of shit in that Kavalaskis fight. I seen a lot of shit in that fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen a lot of shit in that fight. I know Earl and them seen the same shit. He said southpaw. Okay. I would love that. I actually hope Terrence Crawford fights the whole fight in southpaw. That's what I hope to see. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see how good his jab really is. Cause Errol Spence shit gonna be coming straight down the pipe. That motherfucker gonna be right there. Said southpaw. Said Spence is seem too predictable for Bud. Jab, jab, hook. He is a hooked really? A hooker really? We gonna see. We gonna see. It looked predictable from the outside looking. Say he and Buzz camp or something. It looked easy and predictable from the outside looking in, right? It looked like that, but in person and in real life, it looked different. It looked different. It looked different. Says Spence has always been a better boxer than Bud. I say that too. It looked like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers get in the ring with Errol Spence and they be like, nah, them punches faster than what I thought they was. I thought he was basic. Oh, I thought he was just a come forward fighter. That shit different in real life. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think it's gonna be a really interesting fight. If he does what you say, D Lucky, if he fights southpaw the whole night, that's gonna be the worst thing for him. I think it gives him the best chance to get a knockout, but he gonna be eating jabs all night. Terrence Crawford's face gonna be busted up if he fight Earl in southpaw, cause he ain't gonna have nothing to keep the jab up off of him. And you know, in southpaw, that's when he started looking for the big shots. So what that tell me is that the whole night, Terrence Crawford gonna be looking for that big shot, and if it never come, he either gonna get stopped or he gonna lose on the cards. The only way he has any opportunity of winning on the cards is by fighting in orthodox, and even then, I think he get his ass whooping orthodox. It's gonna be interesting though. You know what I'm saying? Hey D Lucky, go back and watch that Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford fight. And then tell me why you think he'll have a better chance versus Errol Spence in a southpaw stance. Watch how Kell Brook was busting Terrence Crawford up with that jab before he switched. Go back and watch that. He said Bud don't have a chance. I'm not saying that. I think it's 50-50. I think there's a 50% chance that Terrence Crawford can knock out Errol Spence. But it's going to be by knockout. He's not winning on the cards. He got to get a knockout. Said Earl isn't slick enough to get away from Bud's sharp counters. We're going to see. Said I seen it. So D Lucky, tell me what do you think was the reason he was eating so many jabs from Kell Brook when their jabs was on different sides? When their jabs was on opposite sides of each other, what do you think was the reason he was eating so many jabs? Said he only got a puncher's chance. That's what I'm saying. He got a chance, but he got a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying? Say he was slick enough when he sparred Floyd. Big facts. Big facts. And we know Terrence Crawford ain't slicker than Floyd. And that was back when Floyd fought Robert Guerrero. He was still sharp then. Said, I see Bud dropping Spence multiple times if it goes this. say he was just, hey, Tay D, you called it. Cause soon as you said he was just downloading, what D Lucky say? Oh, he just started slow. You said, he just started slow. Okay. So D Lucky, you think is the fact that he started slow or the fact that he switched stances? I think it's more so him switching stances than starting slow. You know what I'm saying? He do be starting slow, but I think the difference was going to southpaw as opposed to fighting orthodox. Because if you go back and watch, the only thing that was keeping Kell Brook's jab out the way was the fact that he put his lead hand on the same side so he can like get in front of the jab. All right, D Lucky. So you say it's both. So in that case, how is him fighting southpaw going to be his best opportunity to beat Errol Spence if he don't have a lead hand to offset Errol Spence's jab? So think about this. D Lucky, you said it's two reasons why he was getting busted up by Kell Brook jab. Number one, he starts slow. Number two, he switched. So if he's starting slow on Errol Spence, that's already red flag number one. So now you fucked up at the start. Then number two, if he gonna fight southpaw the whole fight, what he gonna switch to? That's two red flags. He fucked up. You starting slow and you fighting with your jab on the opposite side of Errol Spence's jab, which means that it's gonna be free reign for Errol Spence to jab the shit out Terrence Crawford the same way Kell Brook was in them first two rounds. Said because he will use his feet more. He respects Spence more. So all of a sudden, Terrence Crawford finna be having he finna have Floyd Mayweather feet now. But you know, now Terrence Crawford, he got some decent feet. Now we talking. He got some decent feet, but you think he got enough? You think his footwork is good enough to like stay away from Earl and shit? I don't know. That's what I want to see though. I want to see because that'll be more impressive for me. That'll be more impressive if he can use his feet. You know what I'm saying? To like get out the way and shit. Poindexter Lonnie, he said Earl get knocked out. It's possible. It's possible. That's why I give Terrence Crawford a 50-50 chance. I think he can knock him out. You know what I'm saying? I think he can knock him out. But he gonna have to land that perfect shot. He gonna have to land that perfect shot. Come on, man. He'll be turning Spencer all night. We're gonna see. It's gonna be different than when he fought Sean Porter because Errol Spence is way stronger than Sean Porter. He's bigger, and Errol Spence is a better inside fighter than Sean Porter. See, when Sean Porter, when Terrence Crawford got close to Sean, he was strong enough to hold Sean and control him and just do what he wanted to with him on the inside and like move him out the way, turn him and shit. You're not gonna be able to do that with Errol Spence. He not gonna. Number one, he can't clinch and hold Earl. Earl don't accept clinches. He He don't let you just hold on him and clinch on him. He break them motherfuckers and work your body. Another thing, Errol don't smother his punches like Sean Porter did. Errol Spence know how to throw crisp shots on the inside to the body and to the head. He know how to get on the inside and go to work. He's a way better inside fighter than Terrence Crawford. That's another thing. So in order to turn Errol Spence, that means he gonna have to get close to him. You know what I'm saying? You can't turn a fighter if you're not close to him. He gonna have to get close to him. You gonna have to get close to him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's gonna be interesting as well to see how Terrence Crawford can, get close to Errol Spence, turn him, maybe put him on the ropes, and then just start throwing combinations. That's gonna be fun to watch, man. It's gonna be fun to watch. We're gonna see. Shout out to Nelson in the building. What's good? Said, what up, contender? First time catching your live. Man, I appreciate you for pulling up, bro. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. Uh-oh. Hey, y'all see William Tauber? He said, well, Bud is a wrestler. Bud wrestled in the WWE. He was a wrestler. Come on now, you know he was a wrestler. Man, that shit ain't gonna mean nothing when he get in there with Errol Spence. I'm telling you, Earl done already been in there with the biggest and the strongest of welterweights, man. He'd been in there with Yordenis Ugas, who way bigger than Bud. He been in there with Kell Brook, who bigger than Bud. You know what I'm saying? He done been in there with the biggest and the strongest of the motherfuckers at welterweight. Ain't nobody been able to just hold on Errol Spence and wrestle him and just control him physically. But Bud was a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Bud won a gold medal in wrestling. This ain't wrestling, man. Come on now. This ain't wrestling, bruh. Said, didn't Ugas beat Bud before? Yeah, Ugas beat Bud 2 times in the amateurs. But again, I'm not going to hold that over on Bud because, shit, this ain't the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole different game. So I ain't going to hold that over him. Yeah, but Ugas did put them hands on Bud in that. But Ugas did put them hands on Bud in the amateurs. Y'all seen what Earl just did to him. You know what I'm saying? First person to ever stop him. Said Bud deadlifting 2,000 pounds. That's strength exercise. That speaks volumes. Damn, D Lucky said Bud deadlift 4,000 pounds. He deadlift 10,000 pounds. I seen him once pick up a mountain. He said, shout out to the brother Asing. I think that's how you say your name, bro. Asing, man. Hey, I'm sorry if I messed it up, man, but I appreciate you coming through the super chat, showing love. He said, who do you think Boots got next? Best guess. My best guess is Stanionis. If Errol Spence end up fighting Keith Thurman next, I think Boots will fight Stanionis. That's what I think. Imanta Stanionis, and I think it's a great fight. I'm a fan of Stanionis. I like his game. Big fan of Jaron Ennis. I think that's a good test for both guys. A huge test for Stanionis, but for Boots, I think it's a good scrap. It's a good scrap for sure. That fight right there will that'll kind of let me know. I know Boots got that dog in him, but it'll really expound upon that because Stanionis is gonna make you fight. Stanionis is gonna make you fight. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make you fight, and that's gonna be a good one. He said, we talking about strength. We gonna see. I'm gonna tell you, bro, it's different when you actually like in the midst of the combat. You know what I'm saying? It's different because like I seen guys who for instance, I've seen guys, let's take it to football. I've seen guys who was the strongest in the weight room, but when they get on the field, though, that strength don't be translating. You'll see guys who be physically strong. Like, it was guys that probably lift more weights than Floyd Mayweather. But when they got in the ring with Floyd, he be tying their ass up. You feel what I'm saying? It was guys that Floyd done fought bigger and stronger guys than him. Canelo was stronger than him. But anytime Floyd wanted to tie Canelo ass up, he did. No problem. Some people just they different, bro. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers got that wiry strength. I think Terrence Crawford is a strong fighter. I ain't saying he weak or nothing, but I don't think he's stronger than Errol. But we gotta see it though. We gotta see it. I just know when motherfuckers be trying to clinch on Errol, he be bucking like a wild horse. You know what I'm saying? He just get to going crazy and just going to your body. He break that clinch out and just start throwing big ass hooks to your body. And it be bad. Motherfucker be looking at the ref like, hold on, he won't let me hold him. Waiting for the ref to break that shit up. Now ref be like, nah, fight. He got a hand-free fight. Long as Errol Spence got a hand-free, oh, he gonna get on your ass. You seen Kell Brook trying to hold on Floyd. Motherfucker, bitch, get the fuck off me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I'm getting to you. You said Spence ain't Floyd. I mean, shit, word is, shit, Spence put them hands on Floyd. But, that's another story. That's another story. You feel what I'm saying? And that was when Floyd was still Floyd. Floyd was still Floyd then. That's right around the time what he had fought. He fought Robert Guerrero, then turned around and fought Canelo. That's when Floyd was still Floyd. Now, he was older, but he had fought. Errol Spence helped Floyd get ready for Robert Guerrero. After Guerrero, who did he fight? Canelo Alvarez, didn't he? Or am I tripping? Didn't Floyd fight Guerrero, then fight Canelo? Y'all didn't see the Canelo fight? Floyd didn't look good to y'all in that fight? Floyd didn't look good versus Canelo. Floyd, he was older. I know the age difference. He was 36. But that motherfucker was still Floyd, though. He was still Floyd. And Errol then wasn't nowhere near as good as he is right now. Just saying. I'm just saying. He said, I think Floyd's best was at 135. I agree. Yeah, now Floyd was different at 135. Floyd could possibly be the greatest lightweight we ever seen. I know a lot of people like to say Roberto Duran. That's debatable. But if we just looking at skills, if you're just looking at skills in the eye test, I think Floyd might have been the greatest lightweight we ever seen. Just skills. Said Floyd versus Canelo was a masterclass. Facts. Errol Spence sparred Floyd before he fought Canelo. So he was in the ring with Floyd when Floyd was at the top of the game. Feel what I'm saying? So it's different. It's different. He said Mosley was a problem at lightweight too, but he could have been juicing. Yeah, that's true. And Shane Mosley ducked Floyd when they was at 135. He didn't want no smoke with Floyd. He ducked Floyd. Floyd called him out, and Shane Mosley didn't want no fight. He didn't want no smoke with Floyd. D. Lucky said, we didn't see the fight. We didn't see it, but, I mean, come on, bruh. Have you ever seen Floyd give anybody, any sparring partner that he ever had, have you ever seen Floyd talk about anybody the way he talked about Errol Spence when that news came out? You got to know how to read between the lines, D. Lucky. You got to know how to put 2 and 2 together. Hey, I ain't never seen, especially a young fighter who ain't did shit yet. You know, Floyd can't wait to shit on a motherfucker. Hey, hold on. He said that hell no. Floyd done shitted on his own fighters before. Floyd done shitted on PBC fighters before. He done shitted on PBC fighters. He done shitted on TMT fighters. Floyd can't wait to shit on a young punk that ain't never did shit in the game and let them know, like, motherfucker, I'm on a whole nother level. I'm in a different tax bracket. I done did this shit before. Said, Mr. Munn said, ask Mickey Bay. That was his fighter. So if Floyd whooped Errol Spence ass in sparring, you telling me you think Floyd would have gave him that same respect? Hell no. Man, Floyd would have had every opportunity. You know, I'm going to tell you what Floyd would have said. Floyd would have said this. Oh, Errol Spence? Oh, yeah, he nice. Yeah, he a good fighter. But, you know, when we sparred, you know what I'm saying, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he came and helped me get ready for the Robert Guerrero fight. You know, I had to teach him a little lesson. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I'm different from these other fighters. You know what I'm saying? I was born... hey, Floyd would have been like, yeah, you know, oh, who, Errol Spence? Oh, yeah, he a good fighter. He a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? But, nah, it's different when he get in the ring with me. You know what I'm saying? Come, bruh. Floyd would have used every opportunity he could to shit on Errol Spence. But he knew what the fuck was going on. Said, ain't Spence the cash cow? Sounds about... Come on, bruh. D-Lucky, you can't be serious. See, D-Lucky, bruh. Hey, D-Lucky, you being disingenuous now. You can't be serious, bruh. What about all the other people who said that they was there when they sparred and they saying that Spence got over on him? So D-Lucky, everybody lying now. Everybody, they all putting in on this promotion to promote Errol Spence and say he whooped Floyd. Come on, bruh. So everybody lying now, bruh. Everybody that they ever asked about what happened with Spence and Floyd, everybody saying the same thing, bruh. Spence got off on him, bruh. Come on, bruh. Hey, D-Lucky, just admit it, bro. Come on, bruh. I mean, it's just sparring, though. It's not like they had a real fight. All I'm saying is that Errol Spence done seen the GOAT. He been in there with the best. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about somebody that's and if you ever seen Floyd sparring footage, Floyd be doing them boys dirty. Floyd sparring be better than some of his fights. When Floyd be sparring, bro, you be seeing motherfuckers nose bleed. You be seeing blood out. Bro, Floyd be doing them boys dirty. So you know he was in that bitch talking shit. You heard the Errol Spence interview on the Pivot podcast. Yeah, he said Floyd was in there calling him all type of bitches, talking all type of shit. Man, Floyd be in that bitch doing them boys dirty. But when Earl got in there, though, no, it's different. It's different. Yeah, no, you gonna have to treat me different. You gonna have to approach me different. I'm not one of them. Yeah, I ain't one of them. Nah, it's different over here. You feel what I'm saying? So, D-Lucky, come on, bruh. All I'm saying is that all this outboxing shit you saying Terrence Crawford gonna do, Errol Spence seen it from the best. All that shit you talking about, bro, he's saying in the amateurs. He's saying it from Floyd. He's saying it from all the other top fighters that he done been in the ring with and sparred. Bro, it ain't shit Terrence Crawford gonna do that Errol Spence ain't saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. He already been in there with the GOAT. So, what Terrence Crawford gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Said Earl Camp done said he ain't even showed out his skills in the ring. Earl still haven't put it out. What Jermell Charlo did versus Brian Castano in that second fight, we still haven't seen that from Earl. Where on one night, Errol Spence put everything together on one night. The Yordenis-Ugas fight was like a steamrolling. You know what I'm saying? He started out trying to box, and he was a little bit, he was rusty, a little bit anxious, was overextending himself, leaving himself open and shit. Hometown fight. He back off a 17-month layoff. He a little antsy. He a little antsy fighting in front of 40,000. He a little antsy. You know what I'm saying? So he come out there a little bit overzealous. But after that 6th round, when the mouthpiece came out and Ugas hit him with that shot, man, he just steamrolled him. He steamrolled him. That was a one track type of fight for Errol Spence. But we've seen him box like against Mikey. Or if you go back to his first pro fight, I put film and footage up on the channel. You know what I'm saying? We seen Errol use foot movement, head movement, counter punching. We seen him fight on all 3 different levels in less than 60 seconds. We seen him fight inside, mid-range, and long range in one fight. But we haven't seen him just put everything together. Like how Jamel performed versus Castano in that second fight. I think if Errol Spence fight Keith Thurman next, we're going to see him put everything together. We're going to see him put everything together. We still haven't seen Errol Spence put everything together yet. And that's the night that I'm waiting on. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen all his skills yet, bro. I'm telling you. We ain't seen it yet. And I think it's going to take a fight like an undisputed match versus Terrence Crawford. Or maybe the Keith Thurman fight. Or, you know what I'm saying? For us to see that. Because that's what it took for Jamel Charlo. It took him to go to a draw with Brian Castano and then for Undisputed. And then go back in the second fight and just put everything together. Sometimes it take the stakes to get raised to a higher level for motherfuckers to understand what's in front of them and to be like, okay, this is my stage to show everybody what I got. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we gonna see. We gonna see. I'm excited about all these fights coming up. Said we gonna see it all from Spence at 154 and 160. Definitely 154. Definitely 154. I think 54, we gonna see the absolute best of Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? I think you'll see more fluidity and more movement at 54 because he'll have more stamina. Even though his stamina on 10 right now, I think he'll be even more conditioned because he'll have less weight to lose. You know what I'm saying? Those 7 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds. That shit is a big difference. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. So we gonna see, man. But look, I'm finna go ahead and dip on up out of here, man, and get back to, you know what I'm saying, my birthday, man. It was a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, starting the day off with y'all, man, and chopping it up on this boxing. Appreciate everybody for coming through and supporting. Shout out to everybody that came through in the super chat showing love. I appreciate y'all 100. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody in the regular chat, just having a conversation, interacting, chopping it up. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Please hit the like button and go back. If you came in late, we had great conversations today. Go back and start the live from the top and catch everything. You did what I'm saying if you came in late, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that came through, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day and have a great weekend. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.